you to my friend. This is Dara from the interwebs.
I know, crazy thing.
And today we're going to be talking about three major issues when it does come to women's rights, because there's been so much progress, but there are still some issues that are even uncomfortable to talk about, such as menstruation, that even stops some girls from going to school. Equal pay in the workforce. If you've got a job, you've probably experienced this. And then whether or not you've got a job, let's talk about gossip. Let's talk about girl bullying. Let's talk about the comparisons we set up against each other. And I have to say, International Women's Day is amazing. But let's also be honest, we're really privileged here. And not everybody gets the opportunities that we do.
At one point or another, every girl has experienced some of these issues that we're going to discuss today, so it's really important.
And when it comes to our first topic, we're going to talk something a little bit weird, but we're going to talk about menstruation, especially the problem of menstruation in India. Can you tell me a little bit about the kind of ideas about female menstruation and how that is kind of hindering the education and the life progression of success in some girls around the world?
So I actually come from a small village in Gujarat, and so if females get on their period, we still don't discuss it. Well, not I, but the females in India, they actually sleep outside of the house because they're basically untouchable during that time. Girls have no idea why they're bleeding because their moms don't tell them anything. And they just start bleeding and they think, what's going on, and am I hurt?
Because there's this stigma of it being dirty, and so then therefore it's just not even educated about.
No, exactly. It's something you don't talk about. It's something that happens, but it's unspoken. Basically, girls aren't allowed in the house, and they're not even allowed to eat inside the house. They are sent, the tray of food outside the house like a dog. And I think that's something that we really need to make females aware about in India, because it's not something that is unnormal or dirty.
Yeah. And this is 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
This is still happening.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I truly believe, as anybody on this channel knows, that education is empowerment. And if you have an education, you can do things for yourself. You can achieve success. You can make good decisions for yourself. But it sounds like in India, even having a period could rob a girl of an education because she's pulled out of school, because she doesn't pursue those passions and those dreams. And it really comes down to something as simple as talking about these issues and just raising awareness that could really change the lives of so many people. On top of that, there are options, that we in these privileged positions can make to help people. For instance, you volunteered in India, correct?
Exactly. So I basically volunteered with Uplift Humanity, and we basically taught orphans, and my group of orphans were females. And a lot of these females aren't just educated, and it's a big issue. They couldn't read or write. While the males are taught, go to school, get an education, get a job, females are taught you need to basically become a housewife.
Yeah.
Cook, clean, that's it. So it's a major issue, and females need to be educated just as much as men.
I know that you've spoken with some of these girls. Is there anything that happened that really stood out to you?
One day we were in a group, and I was with all these girls, and we were doing just a group session, and basically one of the questions was, if you were president for one day, what would you do? And she answered by saying that she would cook and clean and sweep. And I said, do you realize I said president? And she's like, yeah, I would cook and clean. What else would I do? And it just shocked me that that's what she thought a president would do. A national leader would be cooking and cleaning.
Wow.
So it's not that, it's wrong or anything, but that's all she knows.
It's just this stigma.
Exactly.
And this lack of opportunity via awareness.
Exactly.
Wow.
It was really sad and heartbreaking. So I really think that girls at a small age should know exactly what's happening to them, rather than them thinking they're just bleeding out, because it's not something their parents tell them or their moms.
I can't imagine how terrifying it would have been for me to have gotten my crippling period and have no idea what's going on.
It's scary. So,
and as well as volunteer opportunities, something that we can do every single month if we wanted to is actually make smarter consumer purchases that either donate products to these girls in need or who donate education programs to these girls in need. There are period panties such as Thinks. There are certain brands of menstrual cups. There are pad and tampon companies who are really helping to provide funds for education and for just basic sanitation that can really go a long way. And, us being the privileged people that we are, we shouldn't let that privilege go to waste. If we have power with consumer dollars, we should use them in responsible ways. Now, when it comes to talk about purchasing power, let's also discuss pay. specifically women's rights in the workplace and equal pay when it comes to job opportunities. We have the amazing opportunity as women to have jobs, at least here in America. Now, something that's really talked about in the media is discrimination when it comes to wage pay. Who's here gets a job? And who here has ever dealt with wage pay and some of those issues? And you know, when it comes down to it, the statistics are that women are paid less than men. Is it a mentality? Is it just like a social norm? I don't care. It's not cool either way. And the statistics say that for every dollar that a man makes, a woman makes on average 79 cents, which is about a $10,000 gap per year. Could you imagine just being who you are and being paid $10,000 less for the exact same work, the exact same amount of time, the exact same difficulty? And of course, this is being talked a little bit about now, but it's about being aware of it, so that if we realize that we or someone else is in this situation, we can stand up. Do you have any experience with this as well?
Women don't tend to renegotiate salaries. And that's something that I personally dealt with. So when I went in to renew my contract, he
being your boss.
Yes. He basically told me what he was expecting out of me, and he told me my pay. And then I actually came back with another salary option, and he was taken back, because females don't do that. We don't fight for something that all of us deserve, which is we should be paid based on how hard we work. And sometimes we don't. And I think it's really important that we take initiative and actually fight for everything we work for.
When it comes to being someone in the YouTube world, I do business things as well. Sometimes that's brand sponsorships, sometimes that's charity campaigns, etc. And I have to be honest, there have been instances where I've been given the same opportunity that other people have been, both male and female, and my pay was lower for whatever reason. And it was one of those things where I didn't speak up, almost because I felt like I didn't want to offend. And it wasn't until after that project was over that I was like, why am I worried about offending when my time is worth something, my voice is worth something, and my passion is worth that? One brand that is really kind of on the forefront of this is Luna Bar. Have you ever eaten a Luna Bar?
They're so good.
Okay.
So good.
So I haven't eaten them recently. I think they're all vegan.
Yeah, I think they are too.
I haven't eaten them in years, but in high school they were my jam. And I found out recently, which I didn't know, that they actually donated a bunch of proceeds to help empower women and actually provide workshops for college students and for working force women to talk about how to negotiate a pay raise, how to ask for what you deserve, and how to not allow those kind of things to happen in the workplace when it comes to discrimination. Think about it, even like high heels, which I'm not wearing. There are some jobs where they say, your dress code is to wear high heels. And if I want to wear high heels, damn right I'm going to wear high heels. But if you're forcing me to, and that's causing back problems, and I don't have the option not to, that's not okay. Especially when we don't expect men to do that. And this isn't about bashing men, it's just like, whoa, bro, let's even the playing field.
I agree.
Also, when it comes to high heels, we kind of have to talk about those other things that girls obsess over and associate with, which is a lot of times our image, our status, those kind of things. So one problem that I have to be honest, I'm guilty of, I think you're guilty of, and I think every single person is guilty of, is comparisons and gossip. As girls, it's almost part of our fabric. I mean, what's the most popular television show on TV today?
The Bachelorette, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, women basically pitted against each other.
And I mean, it almost seems kind of natural. In a very twisted way, is like when we walk into a room, who is she? What does she have? How do I look as compared to her? I mean, I'm no stranger to like flipping through Instagram and looking at someone else and being like, oh, why can't I have what she has? When we have a society that kind of seems to build us by putting each other face to face, almost expecting an argument or expecting that drama, you know, we're not going to be our best selves. Behind every strong woman is a group of other strong women.
Yeah.
And truly being female is about empowering each other and bringing each other up.
Agree.
And a quote that circulates the interwebs is, a flower doesn't worry about whether or not the flower next to it is blooming. And that's what we are as girls. Why do we compare each other, put each other down? Why do we gossip about each other and backstab each other when we could be lifting each other up?
I really don't understand why we put others down to make ourselves feel better, and we females are really notorious for doing this.
It doesn't make us feel better. It's just this temporary thing. And then on top of it, it's our job to lift other people up. It's you know, it's a very interesting conundrum that seems to be taking over the 21st century. And one thing that I think is actually great about this topic is that there is so much that we can do about it. It really starts with awareness.
I
Just
agree.
me being aware that I'm comparing myself to someone else scrolling through Instagram. Or just being aware that it happens, because then I can choose not to do that. I can choose to give someone a compliment and bring them up instead of tearing them down, or step in when I see it happening to somebody else.
Feels so much better complimenting someone rather than insulting someone.
And kindness really is contagious. And
It
I think
is.
that the hardest part is that we don't even realize when we're doing it. I mean, how often have you been like, oh, look at her, or oh my god, did you hear what blah 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 did on the news today? And it's just being aware of those things that, you know, are kind of pulling women apart when we don't need to do that. One organization that I know of who is really trying to stop this is Girl Love by Superwoman, who is another strong, empowered YouTuber, so you know,
Who we all love.
who represent those fellow creators. Oh, ek Punjabi kuri.
Sony Booty.
Sony Guri, huh? And this Girl Love campaign essentially is trying to break down girl-on-girl hate, girl-on-girl gossip, and girl-on-girl bullying. Because it's not about comparing each other. It's about lifting each other up.
I agree.
They do sell products such as sweaters and such as actual anklets. One of these actually donated to girls' education in Africa. But again, it's about being aware. Are you comparing yourself to someone else? Are you judging someone else on the way they look? Or are you judging yourself on the way you look? So one action point that everyone can do today is just go out and give yourself or somebody else a compliment. It's amazing to celebrate femininity. No matter what your gender is, it's something that you can use to empower yourself and empower other people. Because it's not a gender, it's a mindset. And even though we've come so far, we do recognize that there's a lot of privilege in the world, and there are still some problems that we can make a difference with. And it doesn't matter who you are, what walk of life you're in, there are ways that these things impact you and ways that you can make a positive impact on others. So this Women's Day, go out and do something empowering for you, for the women in your life, and for the people that you surround yourself with. And embrace your feminine power.
Because it's really something we all need to do.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm so excited to be here and talk about these issues.
You know, we actually met because of the internet.
Yeah.
Acne, she loves the same skincare brand that I do, The Ordinary.
Amazing skincare
We
brand.
had like a 2-hour conversation over vegan sushi.
It's amazing.
It was awesome. So guys, I really hope that you learned something from this video. I really want you guys to realize that this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be aware. It's a day to celebrate, but it's also a day to cultivate change. You have the power in every single thing that you do to make a positive difference, to keep these things in the back of your mind, to be a conscious consumer and a powerful purchaser. And I hope that if you didn't already have some of those things in the back of your mind, that this conversation kind of lights that up for you. So happy International Women's Day! I hope you guys had fun. There's a like button if you liked this video. There's a dislike button if you disliked it. Be honest with me. There's actually a little white arrow that you can text this to a friend in like the corner if you want to.
Yeah.
Point to random corners. Really the most important thing that you can do is not about likes or clicks, but it's offline. And again, it's changing that mentality to uplift the people around you, to be aware of what you're doing as a conscious consumer, and on top of that, to demand the proper pay when you deserve it, and to stand up for those who might not have their own voice yet. So thank you guys for being a part of this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you guys!